Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. I'm your watch guy today, and today I'm reviewing a new microbrand, one that is soon to launch on Kickstarter. It will be up on the 19th, so you have a day to decide on this one and get in on the early bird. This is from a company from Australia. Now I feel like I actually have to channel a little bit of my Peter Kosa or Perth Watch channel to really pronounce this one correctly. These guys are called Australis. Australis? I'm terrible at accents. Terrible. But I guess over here we probably say Australis, I guess. But yeah, it is a fantastic watch. It's very well built and it's packed with specifications that you're going to love. So, without further ado, let me turn this camera around and let's review this watch. So this is the packaging that the Australis will come in. This is the Sea Shade. That's what they've named this one or dubbed this one. And you'll see why in a second. It is very, it's a good name for it. It's definitely a dive watch, put it that way. It comes with a number of other straps. We have this really nice suede feeling piece. I think that goes lovely with the red, and this grey and red double piece NATO. It also comes in this really nice carry case. I'm a big fan of the packaging on this. Now here is the Australis in person. It is an absolutely undeniable dive watch. It's bulky, it's rigid, it is 300 meters of water resistance. What more can you ask for from a diver? Now, Australis are going to be offering these at $400, and I think that is a fantastic price for what you are going to get. Now, it is built in 316L stainless steel, but it has a steel treatment on it. It gives it 4 times the resistance of actual stainless steel, 4 times the hardness even, sorry, but that is really nice to see, and that is throughout the casing and bracelet, which is a nice treatment because you don't have to do that really, but it does make the watch much more durable and long lasting. In diameter, this is 41.7 millimeters wide. I think that's on the wearable size for a diver. It is 48.6 millimeters lug to lug, so it does have that almost Seiko type of effect. It is 13 millimeters thick. It is a pretty big boy on wrist, and it is 22 millimeters on the lugs here, so you will have plenty of straps that you can swap it in and out with, even on the aftermarket pieces. Now it is packed with a Swiss SW200 movement, which is a premium movement for a microbrand to be using, and it is actually pretty solid offering at this price. So that is one of the biggest reasons that I thought that this is a little bit of a bargain. Now as we look throughout the casing, we can see that it has a vertical brush on the sides. It is brushed throughout the casing here, even on the upper lugs we have lineal brushing here and here, and the crown is unguarded. It is a screw down gear cog-like crown. First position is for the date, second is for the handset. Now I have a nice little name for this handset I'll reveal later on. I think it's perfect for it, to be honest. So the casing is very robust and very angular. It is very large also, but what would you expect from a dive watch? As we look to the back of this case here, you can see that we have a seahorse inscribed on the back of it. It has the usual information on the outer edge of that casing, as well as the serial number or the numbered piece. It also boasts on the back of there that it has been regulated to 4 positions. This SW200, which again is a premium thing for a brand to offer, a microbrand certainly anyway. We have a 120 click unidirectional bezel. As I just twist around here, it is very accurate. It sits in place very well, almost rigid in certain places, but that is just because I haven't been moving it much. I do feel like this is one of those that will warm up to the touch. It is a sapphire insert on this one with the white markings, and you'll see the luminous treatment that these markings have had in the loom shot shortly. We have a sapphire crystal also sat across this casing. Casing altogether provides the watch with 300 meters or 1,000 foot of water resistance. Now that's a good rating for a dive watch. It does really solidify this watch as a diver. The crown on this one is also signed with the Australis logo, which is a nice touch. Now as we move into the dial itself, you can see that has a really lovely sunburst effect on this red dial. Now this is available in other colour options. We have some really lovely colour options available in this actually, and there's one green that I really do enjoy and a white that I think is gorgeous. Now I think they'll be really popular. I don't know if they're going to be limited to certain amounts of numbers, so try and get on this one early so you get the colour that you want. We have applied indices throughout the dial with standard batons at 12, 3, 6 and 9, and we have sort of H or almost A like shapes on the other indices. They are almost in an A like fashion, which is nice to see. It's different, it's very different, and does add to the style of the watch. I like to see the date window down at the 6 o'clock. That really does give this watch a nice level of symmetry, and that it really does leave it very nice on the eye. Up at 12 o'clock, we have the Australis logo printed to the dial, C shade at 6, automatic 300 meters. Now, these indices are loomed. I will show you that shortly. We also have a printed minute track around the outer edge, which does become covered by the second hand as it ticks around, and I think that's a really nice feature. They've got that sizing of the second hand absolutely spot on. Now the handset on this one is robust, it's large, and I like to call it a pixel handset because it does look like some 70s, 80s game in those pixelated type of styles. All I can think of is Mario at the minute. I don't know why, but Mario springs to mind. Now, the outer edge is in a stainless steel type of fashion with a loomed center. The minute hand and hour hand is in the same style, but in the right type of sizing difference. We have a paddle-like second hand, and that does go really well with this handset. It is loom time, isn't it? So let's get these lights out and let's see how well this Australis is doing. The loom on this one is heavily applied. We also have a loomed bezel, which is nice to see. This is all BGW9 loom. A good level of it too, as you can see. Now, it isn't completely evenly spread. However, this is a prototype model, so we will let them off for that. I also like the little loomed logo at the 12 o'clock. That is a very lovely touch. Otherwise, fantastic loom on this one, and really does set it aside as a dive watch. Before we move on to the bracelet of this watch, there is one thing that I have forgotten to mention about the bezel. There's a really lovely gear-like shape to the outer edge of it, and it has a vertical brushing on it also, which gives it a really nice effect. Very easy to grip hold of. Very well done on that also. Now we move to this bracelet, and I really like the robust angular type of design to it. It is very, very nice. We have brushing down the side of the bracelet as well as the top, and it does flow with the rest of the design. Obviously, the brush effect flows throughout the entire bracelet. We have screw links on this one, which is nice to see. We also have an extension clasp. Again, nice to see. 3 levels of micro adjust there. That's again nice to see. The Australis logo is engraved on the clasp, and it is a milled clasp. The bracelet on this one is really, really comfortable, and that's because it is individual pieces rather than free link system. Let me pop this on wrist to show you. Now, I do have a smaller wrist size, but this does fit very well, and that's down to that Seiko-like sizing on the lug to lug. I always say Seiko-like because that is what they do best, and Australis have took a really good note from their book and made this a short lug to lug, but kept its whole dive aesthetic very well alive. I do really like this watch. Now, there is a small moan section for it, however. First of all, I am not a big fan of this colour. However, that's just personal preference. Now, it is packing a lot in for the price that they are offering this watch at. However, one thing that I would have liked to have seen is a matched date wheel on this one. If you're going to go the whole hog to make it a 6 o'clock date, then colour match it. Let it flow with the dial. I think that's the answer to that one. The bezel hasn't always been the easiest to work with. That could be just on this prototype. See, it's always around the 9 o'clock. Again, it is a prototype, so we expect the levels of quality to get much better through production. I do have to call it as I see it. There are some sharp edges on this one. Again, prototype. Do have to call it as I see it. But I think that this overall is a fantastic watch for $400. And I hope a lot of you get onto the early bird pricing, because I think a lot of you will be very happy with this. I've been watching this one develop since the very early days on their group, and I think they've came out with an absolutely fantastic product. Some of the other colorways, really, really gorgeous, and I think a lot of you will like them. So definitely check out their page for them and jump onto the Kickstarter if you're interested to get this nice and cheap. So guys, that's the Australis. Feel a bit like Crocodile Dundee when I try and say that name. Australis. Yeah, it's a nice one to come off the tongue. Anyway, the Sea Shade is an absolute bargain at $400, so make sure you jump on the early bird. Get this nice and cheap. They will come with a number of different straps. I haven't got all of them here. They're just the ones that I've been sent. There will be more in the package. I think there's a really well designed, very well presented, and very well thought out watch. The thing is with new micro brands, what they need to do is they need to capture your attention out of the gate. So they will offer watches that you won't be able to get at that type of price range usually. They'll cut down their margins, they'll make barely any profit just so they can get your attention for the next release. So get yourself a bargain. That's my advice to you. If you'd be interested in these, pop down into the description, I have that link. Otherwise, please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one.